So good evening, everybody, and thanks for being here today, for this webinar focused on the Master in Advanced Global Studies of Università Cattolica, and in particularly of the Postgraduate School for Economics and International Relations, which is ASERI. I thank all the participants today. Of course, I thank Professor Damiano Palano, who is the director of this master, Carlotta Melendugno, who is the program assistant, and our guest speaker and alumna of the master, Roberta Tosques, who will give us a record of her experience during the master. I will leave the word to Carlotta and to Professor Palano. Thanks for your presence, and let's start the webinar.
Okay, thank you very much, Mara, for your introduction, and good evening, everybody. I will leave the floor initially to Professor Damiano Palano, who will start by briefing us about what ASERI is, so about our school. We will share with you our presentation, so you can have a look at it. Just a few seconds. Okay, very good. So welcome to our presentation for Master in Advanced Global Studies. Okay, so I will start, and Professor Damiano Palano, please go ahead.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Thanks to Mara and Carlotta for the introduction. Welcome to this webinar. Today we have to talk about the Master Program in Advanced Global Studies. I am Damiano Palano, the director of the Master. And today I want to talk in a few minutes about ASERI and about the philosophy of this Master. Master in Advanced Global Studies. I don't want, of course, to bore you with too many academic details. The presentation tries to provide some general information. For every more specific detail, you can, of course, ask Mara and Carlotta for clarifications. I'd like to start with few words about ASERI. What is ASERI? ASERI was founded 26 years ago in 1995 with a specific aim of training professionals of the global age. The goal is therefore to give our students a useful toolbox to enter a global system. In the slide you can see what the main mission of ASERI is. Since 1995, ASERI has been working to understand the deep changes occurring in the economic and political environment with the beginning of globalization. And ASERI is a global educational institution whose mission is to create an open-minded learning environment that brings together people, cultures, and ideas from around the world. This is, of course, an ambition statement, but ASERI tried to combine preparation in some specific fields: international relations, economic studies, legal studies, with the focus on international institutions. And in addition to this, in recent years, our master have addressed the emerging problems of the global system. For example, the issues of security and climate change. And the aim of ASERI is high quality of teaching, mixing theory and practice, and this is important in my perspectives. And an interesting point is, of course, the possibility to expand the network, the possibility for our students to expand their network. And this is another very important factor. The international dimension characterize the teaching staff and the students. The professor of our faculty mostly teach in foreign universities or work in international institutions and global companies. But our students are partly Italian, but they also come from abroad. In 26 years, Azeri has had many students from almost all countries of the world. In this slide, you can see a general overview on the geographical origins of our students, and this is a very interesting picture, I think. The next slide. In Azeri, we have several masters. You can see the name of this master. Master in Advanced Global Studies, of course, Master in Economics and International Policies, Master in International Cooperation and Development, Master in Middle Eastern Studies, and we have also Summer School in Managing International Relations. Today, of course, we have to talk in particular about the Master in Advanced Global Studies. Now is the time to answer to the main questions. What is the Master in Advanced Global Study? When does it start? How? But for the answer to this question, I give the floor to Carlotta Melendugno, the program assistant. Please, Carlotta, the word.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much, Professor, for this introduction on Azeri. So now, as you mentioned, we will have our specific insight on MAGS, so our Master in Advanced Global Studies. So I will start by giving you the, firstly, the technical information about how the program is developed, how it's structured, and then we will have a look at the aim and the goals of the master. So what kind of professional prospects in particular are related to this master. Then I will give you a little bit of an insight about the career of our former students, and then I will leave the floor to our guest for a testimony. So, but first, let's start with master. So, in Advanced Global Studies. So what is MAGS? We're talking about a first level specializing master that lasts 1 year and grants 60 credits. When will it take place? It takes place, it starts in November 2021 and it will end in December 2022, and with the following schedule. So we will have 6 months classes starting in November until late April, and among the 6 months classes there will be 3 sessions dedicated to exams. That could be in-present test or papers to be developed autonomously by the students and to be submitted by a specific deadline. This will be decided by each scholar. And the other half of the year will be dedicated to the internship and the project work. So from May until October. I will give you specific focuses on both the internship and the project work later on this presentation. On October, there will be the discussion of the project work in presence before a commission, an evaluating commission, and in December, that will be the graduation day. So you will have your diploma and the master will be over. The language is, of course, English, as you may assume from this presentation. So the master is entirely taught in English. And the class consists of 25 members. So the highest number of candidates that are admitted to the class is 25. The specific reason behind this is that the smaller the class, the higher the quality of the teaching and the higher the level of focus on each student, of course. Okay, let's move on. So how? Let's have a focus on the program. So what we teach here in MAGS. So the program is divided into four different levels. The first two are related to the scientific training and management skills and the advanced training on regional areas that are taught over the 6 months of classes. So these two levels are combined and mixed and taught over the 6 months classes. Okay, as you can see, the first level, the scientific training, is a diverse range of areas. As you can see here, economics, human security and sustainable development, international relations, law and institutions, and management skills. So a diverse range of areas which covers many topics. I could give you some example, if you like, of some courses, specific courses that we teach with regard to the economic area. For example, there is a specific focus on the open economy model and the international trade related issues. With regard, for example, to human security and sustainable development, there are courses about migration and humanitarian affairs, environment and climate inequality, and the Green New Deal's policies, for example. With regard to international relations, instead, international relations, if perhaps some of you know already, is a branch of political science, and here at MAX we give specific focuses, for example, on globalization, world order, and security studies. Law and institution, we will have classes about the institution and legal system of the European Union and the international law. With regard to management skills, this is a very important part also of the master, which is related to the more practical side of the master. Basically gives classes and lectures about tools to navigate the labor market. So provides tools to the student to navigate the labor market through specific classes, for example, that teach students how to create a perfect CV, how to write a perfect cover letter, how to write a perfect motivational letter, and how to apply to specific portals in order to, if you, for example, aspire to enter the career of the international organization or the UN system, for example. Then, as you can see, the second level is specific focus on each regional area. Okay. Then the last two other levels. So the third level is the project work, and the fourth level, the internship. Now we will have a specific focus on these two letters. Okay, I will give you this later, don't worry. So about the method and about what we teach here in MAX. So what are the strengths? What are our specific characteristics? So who is the perfect candidate for MAX? The students that study here at MAX are international outstanding graduates that comes from different disciplines. So potentially anyone could apply to MAX, but anyone who is willing to work in the international relation field, in the private and public sector, within companies, institutions, and NGOs and other organizations, international organizations. The method. As you may assumed from what I've just showed you about the scientific training levels, it's a comprehensive concept of international relations, so that covers many topics and many issues. So it's a multidisciplinary approach. And through interactive classes, interaction is a very important part of the program, which is encouraged by each scholar and professional who is a lecturer here at MAX. Interaction both between students and the scholars and the lecturers, but also interaction between the students themselves. And a perfect combination of theory and practice. As you already may assume by the program that I've just shown you, there is not just the scientific training, so classes, pure classes, but it's also specific focus on practical skills, which is whose main part is represented by the internship. that I will explain in detail later. And then the faculty. We have an international high-profile faculty that teaches here at MAGS. Therefore, scholars, but also international scholars, but also professionals coming from national and international organizations, multinational companies, international institutions, and NGOs. Okay. Now, our focus is the internship. So the internship is a compulsory engagement that grants 5 credits in our program and provides the enriching training and represents the main focus of the practical part of the master. So it's a real in-field experience. Where can students do the internship? Anywhere they want actually, both in Italy and abroad. The basic requirement for an internship experience in order to be recognized by our program is to last at least 3 months full time. Full time means that the workload must be at least 36 or 40 hours per week. So like a real job experience. This is the reason why we require full-time experience, because it's consistent with the labor market that you will find outside the university doors. How to look for a good internship. So students must look for the internship themselves, basically. This is very important. So students has a proactive role in the search for the internship and they will look for the internship on the basis of their personal interest, on the basis of personal aspiration and skills and background. Of course, the program assistant, myself, will collaborate and help each student, support each student in the search, but also in the submission of applications. And also by forwarding others areas of interest that might appeal to each student. Of course, the skills and the tools in order to get a good internship are taught in the program throughout the master, as I already told you, by the management skills area. Okay, and the specific classes. I will give you now just few examples of the institutions, NGOs, and international organizations where our former students had their internship over the last years. As you can see, among the international organization, there are some of the most important agencies of the United Nations system. Then there are NGOs, and among the other institutions, there are also European Union institutions. Okay, so just to give you a few examples. Okay, now how to apply. Now that you know how the master works and I want to apply, how do I do this? Of course, you have an online application. We have specific portals where you must submit the required documents. I will evaluate each document and then fix an interview where basically we will evaluate your motivation and your proficiency in English, so your language proficiency. Then there will be the selection and the enrollment. So the requirements in order to be selected are these. So a bachelor degree, as I already told you, there are no boundaries at the entrance, so anyone could potentially apply. So what matters is to have a strong motivation, of course, and to have interest in international relations. About the English proficiency, certification are not compulsory for the very simple reason that the English is tested live through the interview. You can apply through our website and the deadline is June 3rd. Now, I will give you just a quick overview about our former students. So now that you know how the program works, you may be interested in what happened to our graduates. So the people who graduated and obtained the diploma of this master, what happened to them? Well, the area school has conducted a survey among its MAGS alumni in order to sort out their path and after the diploma and to better understand which benefits they could profit as a consequence of the attendance. So the school forwarded its survey with 14 questions to a sample of 111 students, and we had a redemption of 53%. So now, of course, I will not show you the entire survey, but I will just give you a quick look at the most relevant findings as a result of these 14 questions asked. For example, we asked our former students, how long did it take to find your first job after your graduation? And this is what we found. Very interesting. The 83% of our students has found his first job within the first 6 months after the graduation. So, interesting point. Another question we ask, how did you find your first job after graduating? This is, I think, a very important data to show you as well. As you see, the majority has found his first job by himself or has benefited from the Azeri legacy. In particular, you can see that has been either confirmed where he has done the internship or used the university network, so provided by the network, built over the experience of the master. So this is interesting because I believe that both the data, the 71% and the 21% are good because they show exactly what is the aim of this master. The aim of the master is to provide students with deep, specific training and tools to practice and improve a diverse range of skills in order to shape future international, flexible, and adjustable professional. So this master gives you the tools, the skills, and the scientific training. And then it's up to each student to benefit from all this and to apply it in the real world. And the data show that it actually worked so far. Now, in which sector have you found your first job after graduation? We asked our students. And here you can have a look at the very diverse range of areas where our students have found their job, which is exactly what it's consistent with the aim of the master, right? Professional, international professionals, adjustable and flexible, okay? Now, a very quick look at which company are they working for now. As you can see, it's divided by sector. So we have private sector consulting, education, banks and finance, and institution and organization. Okay, so if you have, don't worry, I will give you all these presentations so you can have a look at them by yourself. So don't worry. And now, the last question, are they working? They are, apparently. So the majority, 85%, is currently working after obtaining the diploma. So at the end of it, okay. Here in the presentation that I will give you, you will find all our contacts of the staff. So exactly the people that are present here now. And before we leave we leave room for the Q&A, I will, since we were speaking about former student, I will leave the floor to Roberta Tosques, who is a former student of the master. She graduated in 2018 when the master was called Master in International Relations back then, but the program was the same. And so Roberta, I will ask you to introduce yourself. Tell us what are you doing right now, where are you working, and gives us your free and honest testimony of your experience. The floor to you.
Sure. Thank you very much, Carlotta. Thank you for this presentation. So yes, as you mentioned, I'm Roberta. I'm a former student. I work now as a consultant in the WHO regional office for the Eastern Mediterranean region, which is the World Health Organization in the region of Middle East and North Africa. And my experience in the international organization, more specifically in the United Nations, started with the master in international relations. As Carlotta mentioned, I attended the master in 2018. And during the master, I had, as everybody, a meeting with the program assistant to get some support, as she mentioned during the presentation, some support to discuss about the internship, about my preferences in terms of field where I wanted to work or location. And I expressed my wish to find an experience, to have an experience in any international organization, possibly Middle East. And thankfully, Azeri has a very wide network of international organizations. And so among this, this network includes the WHO office where I'm currently working in Cairo, this regional office. And so because of this connection, this office had already had experiences with other students coming from Aseri. So what happened was that while I was doing the master, this person in this office, this regional advisor in the regional office, was looking for an intern, and it was really interested in having an intern coming from Aseri, coming from this educational background and competencies, etc. So this is how it started. I was then put in contact with this regional advisor, and I had the interview. And then the interview was successful, thank God. And yeah, and that's how it started my experience. So I got the support through Aseri to find this vacancy, and then I started the internship that lasted 5 months, and after which I was hired with different contracts, different projects, and I'm currently working in a different unit, different from where I started. But anyway, I am now a project manager for my unit. The project I'm working with aims at assessing the healthcare situation of the country in the region, so the Middle East and North Africa, in order to develop later on the improvement strategies for the healthcare. So this is what I'm dealing with right now. And the master for me was really great experience. I can say literally life-changing, and it was very interesting. Of course, I was interested in the topic, so I found the classes very interesting, very mind-expanding, and also they challenged some of the pre-existing expectations that I was having, and it was a good experience in terms of academic experience. But what for me was the most valuable aspect of the experience was related to the structure of this master. So as Carlotta mentioned very well, explained very well, the master is structured in 6 months classes, 3 months internship, 3 months project work. This means that in the first 6 months, students are required to learn a considerable amount of information and notions and pass several exams in a row, and while preparing projects and presentation and reading material and writing essays. So it's a considerable amount of work. And this means that in a very short time, in 6 months, I had to improve a lot of skills. I had to improve. I had no choice than to improve a lot of skills that are now paramount for my current job. And so that was the most important aspect in my experience. So not only the content of classes was key to work in an international environment with different culture. By the way, also UN has a specific culture regardless of the country where it is. So also this, so the content of classes was important for me to learn how to work in an international environment, but not just that, also the set of skills that I either improved or acquired is very important. And I'm referring to, for example, the ability to work, to be very productive in the most efficient way, to work and learn fast, to write in a good English, to work in team, to be diplomatic, to master something you're not really familiar with in a very little time and then present it, and then to talk in public. I'm not sure if I said it already, but anyway, all these kind of skills are still play a major role in my daily life, in my work. So this was my experience with the master, and also this set of skills and knowledge are used. I'm using them even in this WHO office. WHO is a UN agency that deals with health. So the mandate is related to health, but anyway, also the international relations background is needed because especially regional offices deal with projects in countries, different countries in the region. And so it's very good for people to have a good understanding of the political, economic, social, cultural situation of the individual countries, but also the relations with the countries. Between the countries. So this is my experience with the master. I hope I was clear, and so
Absolutely.
that's that's for me. And thank you for giving me this opportunity to share. And good luck to whoever wants to attend this amazing master. Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Roberta, for these words that I think that was very interesting and valuable for the people who's listening. So that was a very great testimony. So thank you. So I think right now that we've done with our presentation, we will leave the floor to you, actually, to anyone who's listening who wants to perhaps make questions.
Yes. If you have any kind of question, you can raise your hands through. Yes, we have Petra asking me a question, and then I have to ask a question to Roberta because it's at the end. Petra, please.
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
First of all, thank you for your presentation. I've seen that a degree is required to apply. I'm still an undergraduate. I'm about to finish the graduate course. So I was just asking if it's necessary to have a concrete degree or if possible to try an application although you have not finished yet your course.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you for this question, Petra. Nice to meet you. I think I can answer the question if everybody is agree. So there are no problems in the sense that you can apply even if you're not still a graduate. But the important thing is that you obtain your title, so you graduate in the last session possible, which is, if you're in Italian, March. Okay? So, so as long as you graduate until March of 2022, you can apply for this master and start the master. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
So,
And just another question. What kind of documentation should I give to the application process instead of the degree?
okay. Well, in this case, you will have to submit the transcript of the exams and also a document which is another transcript of your exams, but that states that you are actually still obtaining you're still graduating, so you still are about to obtain the diploma. Okay.
Okay, thank
So
you.
it's just a sentence.
Thank you.
That's the difference, and that
Thank
will
you
be
so
okay.
much.
Okay, you're welcome.
Yes, if I can add a little detail to that, you can
Of course,
also
Mara.
use the autocertificazione. So if your university allows, you can download it from your university, and you can use the autocertificazione. Of course, when you uh, apply at the end with your master office, then you will have to submit the real, let's say, transcript or grades. But as far as the selection process is concerned, you can self-certify your grades and your status. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Other questions, maybe from other students, or otherwise I will pose a question. Can you tell us something more about what is the advantage that a graduate from Max has in comparison maybe with others?
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you, Mara, for the question. So, first of all, I will say the very first benefit is related to the practical part of the program. So, as I said before, Max is not. It's not just about scientific training. Of course, there's an essential part which is scientific training on the issues that I've covered. But there is also the other part, which is practicing the skills, which are the soft skills. And the labor market requires soft skills, more than hard skills. And the labor market is changing so quickly, and soft skills are essential to be to be to be successful in the labor market. So the program gives you the tools to better first know yourself as a potential professional, because being a student myself, I remember that before before entering Azeri, I didn't know myself as a potential professional. So I think that classes at the master are good for better understand which are your strengths and weaknesses, where to improve, and how to present yourself, how to introduce yourself in the labor market with mastering the soft skills that that are good in your profile. Okay, so mastering your soft skills and also managing the tools. So the labor market require people to present themselves in a certain way. So even how to write a CV is that might sound futile. It is not. It is very important to know how to write a good CV because that can make a difference. You know, because recruiters doesn't know me, doesn't know anybody of us, but it will just see a paper with my names and the things I've done and the skills. But even to have that presented me in the best way, it's a plus. And we teach here in Max, we teach these things and all this. So having trained these skills, having knowing how to better present yourself in the labor market, and also through the internship, which is a very important aspect here at the master. The internship is a very important chance to be in field, as I said before, being in the labor market and see how it works. So the practical side of the master is, priceless for me. So I would say that this is the difference. And also the international environment and the multidisciplinary approach makes you an adjustable person, an adjustable professional. And in a landscape where the labor market changes so quickly, it is very important to be adjustable, to be flexible, to be adaptable to different conditions. And the environment at Azeri provides you this, I believe.
Okay. Shall we ask Roberta to unveil the dark side of the master? Because I cannot believe that there is no dark side. So you
There are,
depicted
yeah.
a wonderful experience, which I believe. But what was your maybe personal or experience that made you uneasy or gave you more difficulties? Tell us.
So in my description, there was actually also the
part,
dark
yeah.
side. like the outcome was positive. Like I had to improve a lot of skills, but of course those 6 months were not easy, especially the last ones, because it was a huge amount of work and non-stop, learning, and so I think that the hardest part, the most challenging was the amount of work. But the outcome was positive, so I don't know. I would totally deem this as good. But yeah, apart from this, I need to think. But I would say this. I don't know. Carlotta can also maybe confirm or deny.
I agree. I agree absolutely. The amount of job that you need to do here at the master is considerable. But anyway, it prepares you for real life. So that's the real benefit, right?
Yes.
So the better things are not easy.
Okay.
So look at yourself now.
Good. So, should you have any other question or doubt during in the next days or next weeks? Of course, Carlotta and it will be available for you to have a one-to-one meeting. Or if you want to write an email, you can write to her, or you can write to the email of Azeri. You have everything in the contacts, and you can find everything on our website. So I think we thank you for your presence here today. And first of all, thanks, Roberta, for your wonderful testimony, because it's really enthusiastic, and it showed us that I mean, you worked hard and you deserved your career path now. And we thank Professor Palano for introducing us to the master, and of course Carlotta. And we hope to see you in class in this later autumn. So that's all for the moment, and
Thank you, Mara.
thank you for your presence today. Okay.
Goodbye.
We can close here,
Thank you.
and
Thank you for having me.
thanks to all the people that are connected this afternoon. Thanks a lot,
Thank you.
Professor.
Bye bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks a
Thank you,
lot.
everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.